Because as soon as we faded to black from the zombies, and not even the ones who made the f***ing cool records, but just these zombies, it's the 9 o'clock hour, and like Mussolini, following the zombies, he dug himself out of a grave. Oh, he's a survivor of AEW.
Oh, God.
Well, think about this.
You're singing? No, let's not.
No,
let's move on to something
no.
else. Let's not and say we didn't.
No, it's let's not and say we did.
No, in this case, let's not and say we didn't.
Ah. So you're jealous. See, but anyway,
that's your takeaway.
Well, yes, I see. Well, I just call a turd a turd there. But anyway, now I had something I was going to say. Oh, I'll tell you what I was going to say.
You have an uncle. He was in the army.
No. We've done that on the previous segment. The Punk, what I'm trying to make, is I think unique among professional wrestlers now, in that 3 specific weaselly faced fucking people. I'm not saying there's only 3, but 3 specific weaselly faced people were putting a mouth on him, as Dennis Corleuzzo used to say, and he was able to punch one repeatedly in the face. I think he clocked the other one too, and he front face locked the third stooge, and then exits a company where he was obviously miserable, and then goes to the biggest company in the world and is doing some of the best promos, I think, of his career, and obviously making more money than he was in La La Land over there. But he actually got to fucking dot everybody in the face on the way out. I think that's commendable, don't you?
Commendable? I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think some people still need to be hit. What was the question? There's some people that still need to go down. But what was your question?
Most of the time, when you leave somewhere, you don't get to fucking pickle the fucking guy that you want to pickle on the way out. And I admire him for his perspicacity and being able to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Well, he did it twice, technically. He did it once and he got sent home for a while, and then he came back and he did it a second time. So
well, the second pickle wasn't as hard as the first, though.
Well, he's a little pickle. It's a little hairy pickle.
Oh, he's not even a dill. He's just a bread and butter.
That's right.
Anyway, so Punk comes out with the strap around his neck. And the promo, he congratulates the Panthers, which are the local team down there that does the thing that team does. Is it hockey or who is it? What do they do there, the Panthers? Are they affiliated with college sports? I don't fucking know.
It's hockey. It's indeed hockey.
Well, they like him down there, and he congratulated them, and he got the people fired up. And he tells them stories, and he talks to them, and it's meaningful shit. And he was at Fanatics Fest. Why is the WWE on a hot streak? Because it's you people, the fans. He met a cancer survivor, and he talked about his friends with cancer. And he met a girl that flew 15 hours to meet him. And he said, I missed you guys for 10 years, so I get excited to do this again. And there's the bracelets that the fans have made. So, okay, I'm Taylor Swift for men. Hi, he's not doing stand-up comedy. And he's not doing a prepared dramatic scene. He is speaking to people and telling them something in a verbose fashion that they can listen to and get into or whatever the fuck. And then he tied the bracelets into the one that Drew McIntyre took. And then seamlessly promoting Drew. Well, I got some news for everybody. I made Drew a bracelet, and he holds the fucking strap up. And he announces in Berlin it's going to be a strap match. What sense does that make? Just because Drew tried to whip him with his belt, but Punk took the belt away from Drew and whipped him with it, and now they're going to have a strap match? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Ha ha ha. This shit's logical. They have reasons for the things that they're doing. And what did we say on the last program that you and I did 48 hours ago or whatever it fucking was? I talked to you goddamn constantly. Your pearly tones excite me, Brian. I said the heel has to steal or fuck up something that means something to the babyface. Whether it is a championship or money or a car or a personal item or whatever the fuck. Personal issues draw money. This is wrestling at the root of it. Inside this, goddamn overblown production that it's become, these days. But at the root of it, this is fucking wrestling. And he explains the stipulation. You gotta fucking drag your opponent to all four corners to win the match. And he says, I'm gonna whip this bitch and take my bracelet back. And ba-boom, Drew. But first, your comments on Punk.
My comments on Punk? Oh, his hair looked wonderful. What do you want to hear?
No. I mean, what do you think of the things I've said about his promo? Do you see, I see a difference in what he does and what a lot of other people do in talking giving them this overblown, grandiose, prepared. They're trying to all be goddamn Shakespeare eloquently instead of just talking to people.
He does a better job of saying a lot and getting people to listen without getting bored than most people can or do.
Yes.
Because he goes on for a while and you don't really get bored with it. There's always intrigue in what's coming, what's next, what's he going to say. He's shown that he'll say things. What's he going to say? I thought this was an okay promo. My big disappointment, and I know I'm in the minority here on this call.
Uh-oh.
I'm not a big fan of strap matches. So that deflates me a little bit. I've never been a fan of strap matches. And never been a fan on what usually ends up being the finish in almost every strap match I've ever seen.
But, playing devil's advocate, when's the last time that you saw a strap match?
Oh, Sting and Vader, 92. No, I don't remember. I don't remember the last one I've seen, so I can't quote the specific last one, but just not one of those matches I've enjoyed. Now, let's see what these guys could bring to it here that'll change my mind, but, it's not like a stipulation. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is the one.
Well, what I'm thinking is that, and I can see because you've been watching them for 30 years, a lot of those finishes were in the territories. I don't remember. There's been a large chunk of modern wrestling that I have not watched. If they've done the finish that you're talking about in the modern era, and some of the listeners I'll be glad to be not corrected on this because I'm saying I don't know. So you can't really correct that, but enlighten me. Have they done the finish? Anybody that knows it will know what I'm talking about, to the four-corner strap match in the modern era on major pay-per-view, but I still don't think they're going to do that.
So, and again,
okay.
The finish works good in some places, and in other places it doesn't. It depends on the people, depends on how it's done. But typically in these matches, after a while, you may see it coming. You used it very effectively in 1993 without giving details because you're hiding this. So I won't say anything too much. But,
all right, no, I'll go ahead and tell them because you're going to praise me. But actually, if you remember, it was kind of fucked up, but it worked because the people thought they were really seeing a fucking struggle.
That's right.
But the deal is that finally the babyface makes a big comeback, but then gets stopped, and the heel wraps the strap around his neck or somehow, and is dragging the guy to all four corners. But as the heel touches the corner and moves to the next corner, the babyface touches the turnbuckle behind him, so they're 1-1, then 2-2, then 3-3, and then the babyface puts the brakes on, and as the heel jerks trying to get to the last corner, the babyface gets jerked over the top of him and touches first. But I don't think they're going to do that because I just said it out loud, but also because a lot of people probably have seen that, but also I don't think it's what they're going for here. I don't think it is a finish that would be a logical progression in this story. I think what they're going for, and see if I come out right, is if people were disappointed because they didn't see violence with the Seth Rollins referee involvement, I think we're going to see some fucking violence. I think people are going to be red, white, and blue from that strap, and they're going to have some creative shit going on. And I believe most probably they will fucking end up doing some type of finish to continue the program. But that doesn't mean, either guy necessarily has to win, although I would think that they would return the favor from, what was the last pay-per-view we did? SummerSlam. But that's just me. But, Drew came out right there. So we've gotten off on a tangent here. Is this where we were talking about my uncle flying planes?
No, that was a different tangent and a different arm of the show.
A different arm of the show?
That's right. It was a different arm of the show.
Well, let me give it a leg up here now. So as soon as Punk said he was going to take his bracelet back, Drew's music played, and he comes to the entranceway with the microphone. And again, he not only does a great heel promo, but it's because of his attitude and delivery, as Finkel would say, demeanor. But his delivery puts it over the top, and the accent works for him because he still has a man's voice and doesn't sound like he's gargling marbles. And he sounds like a movie star instead of a goddamn rugby thug or whatever. But is very unique with his verbal skills now that he's unleashed himself, but also his delivery and just the whole package puts it over the top. And he agrees to the strap match, but he wants a teaser right now. And he tells Punk, lose the strap and let's fight. And Punk said, I'll give you the strap if you give me the bracelet. And then Drew milks it and says, no. Actually, he said, no. That's kind of more like him, isn't it?
He has the best facial expressions during promos. When someone else is talking and they show him, he sells everything perfectly with his face.
And it doesn't have to change that much on him because you can tell it. He can go from being just smug to fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Just with the eyebrows and the fucking...
lifting the mustache a little.
Yeah, a couple of cheek muscles.
Yeah.
But finally, Punk says, it's not about me attached to you, it's you going to be attached to me. And that's all they had to do. And then there you go. And again, a lot of that was just a conversation, but they built it and got to a point and sold the issue. That's my point that I got to.
Well,
I took a drink.
That is the point you got to.
I'd put a period on the end of a sentence, so I thought, pardon me for taking air and liquid.
No, I'm okay with the air and liquid. Swami was barking as soon as you took your break, so I was trying to prevent...
Oh, so you were distracted by the dog barking.
I wasn't distracted. Again, thinking of the listener and the listener experience, I didn't want just a random dog to appear in the middle of the track. I thought that would throw people off. People are driving down the road, all of a sudden looking over their shoulder, thinking there's a dog attacking them.
All right, well, okay, but now then you got to have Swami music.
What's that going to be?
I don't know. You got to have
music.
some.
What does that mean? Music for him, like entrance music?
Yes, and every time and I'll do the same thing for Harley over here when she sits with me and she has one of her coffin spells or whatever.
You don't have any instruments, do you?
Well, I'll find something and we have to play it so that way we identify. As soon as you hear the dog in the background, we play the dog's intro music.
Oh, what could it be?
So the people know that the dog is here. And then the dog becomes part of the show, and then that way it's not an unexplained character.
This is such a fun idea. What sound should I apply to Swami? Hold on.
Oh, good Lord. I meant like real music.
Swami's on the loose. Oh, and the music's not stopping. Let's go. Well, whether it's Swami or Harley or Larry, bringing it back to this, who's on the bracelet, what did you think of Drew saying, put down the strap and I'll fight you right now. Because that's, again, it ties to what Punk says in return, but that's a very babyface kind of line.
Well, actually, not really. Because when you think about it, who else ever even gives it that much legitimacy to even say, put down that fucking flamethrower and I'll fight you right now? But no, it's a heelish, it came off as a heelish thing because of his deal. Well, put the strap down and I'll fight you right now. Because he'd already tried to fucking whip Punk. He knows Punk wants to whip his ass. I don't know. I think that was fine.
Well, Jim, knowing there's a strap match coming up and knowing that this show is just rambling on various things, but more importantly, a strap match coming up, a big strap match, you would think that maybe someone would need to shave before that match. They would look in the mirror and say, I want to look good for this beating. I'm going to shave my face, make sure my flesh is visible when it's all red and beaten up. And we know someone who can help them shave. Don't we, Jim?
What you have done here is, Brian Last, you have missed the obvious transition. Well, folks, I'll tell you what, if they're going to have a strap match, if you want to sharpen your razor up with a strap, you can do it the old-fashioned way. You can take that razor out, you can beat it up and down that big old leather strap until your arms ache and you accidentally cut off your penis or your tonsils or something.
What?
That you'd like to keep. Or you can do it the modern easy way and get a brand new, sharper than a serpent's tooth razor courtesy of our friends over at Harry's. Now, wouldn't that have been better?
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, of course it would, because if you don't want to, those straight razors, that's another thing. Sometimes it's hard to get those neck areas with that straight razor, especially if you got a little palsy to you, and you don't want anybody else to put a razor to your throat at this day and age.
Yeah, well, this is going in a lot of directions all at once, and let's bring it right back to a central location.
Well, the central location is if you go to Harry's, our friends at Harry's, they will send you a razor that even if somebody tried, they wouldn't be able to cut your fucking carotid artery with it. Even if a member of your household thought he's asleep finally, I'll take this fucking razor.
No.
There's no way. You can only get a close shave with our friends at Harry's Razors and products like that.
Let's focus on listeners who live with people they trust.
Well, nobody's going to be able to get even. I'm just telling you. And, I'm just talking about cutting your throat. And let's face it, if somebody tried to cut something else off, they can't with Harry's.
Again, Lorena Bobbitt has no involvement with this. Let's get back to shaving one's face, shaving one's facial hair, doing it with a fine razor of, I forget what the handle is, but you have the copy and the handle is great, and you can shave the hair with Harry's.
Yes, and boy, and have you ever seen a picture of Lorena Bobbitt? She should have done something about her facial hair. And I'll tell you, folks, right now, Harry's is going to give you the sharpest edge on life. If you want to go out and look cleaner than slicker than a whistle and clean and nice and everything without all the growth all over you. If some of the audience has sent us pictures where they're having to shave their foreheads now, well, folks, you can go no further than Harry's. You don't have to go to the grocery store and get those high-priced shave cartridges that they're weighted down by chains to the alarms that go off if you try to steal these things because they're so valuable. Instead, actually, they're not valuable. They're just high-priced. Instead, you go right through harrys.com, harrys.com/JCE, and you're going to get a 5-blade razor with a weighted handle, ergonomic design, the foaming shave gel, and a travel cover so you can't even nick your fingers, much less slice your uvula. And you're going to get that for just $3. And this is the 5-blade razor that comes from the Germans can make fucking razors. They like to make sharp shit. And for $3, the gel, the cover, and most importantly, and it's a beautiful razor. It's a lovely fluorescent color. $3. Normally, That apparently, where is it? It's $13 for that normally, but you can get it for $3 at harrys.com/JCE. And then, as Brian, as I know you have done, because you like a smooth forehead, you can sign up for Harry's to be delivered monthly, half what you pay for the other big brands. They've also got the deodorant, the lotion, the body wash, the hair gel, the crotch wax. It's an amazing...
There's no crotch wax. Let's not add items that they have not released to the public or that we are in any way aware of.
Did they discontinue that with the taint paste?
I don't think... I think you may have been getting packages from a different Harry. Not Harry.
Oh, it was... yes. I was pen pals with Harry Reams back in the 80s.
What?
And he still sends me things everyone. But anyway...
He became very religious, you know.
Well, I tried to break him of it, but he wouldn't listen. If you go to harrys.com/JCE right now, you're going to get that razor. Actually, the cartridge is different than the razor handle and the cartridge. It all goes together. You're going to get the whole thing. You're not going to have to take just one of these cartridges and just rake it over your face. This handle is beautiful. And the foaming shave gel and the travel cover, $3, and the option to do more things to make yourself smell and look good, which would benefit a significant portion of the current public today. Harrys.com/JCE.
That's right, Harry's.
Thank you, Mr. Energy.